Hello all and welcome back to my channel MSET Blocks. Today I will be talking about the upgrades and revamps that will be coming to the Inner West and South lines in Trainways. Now these are confirmed to be coming in the future and will not come out next update. And this topic will be split into two videos. This one will be about the Inner West and South line proposals, and the next will be about the Central/Woolabara line. It has been confirmed that this project will happen before the Gospel update, as the devs have realized that they have been focusing too much on a northern line. Also, for anyone wondering, the northern line will actually be rebuilt from scratch before the Gospel extension actually happens. Now I will be reading the documents about the Inner West and South line proposals provided by the devs of Trainways, so please enjoy. Starting off with the abstract. The aim of this document is to outline the process of upgrading the Inner West and South lines, in addition to an explanation including its necessity and benefits to the players. The document will go into detail with the characteristics of both lines, justification on the proposed upgrades based on the details of each line, and how the benefits towards the community will balance with the development work required for each. Inner West line. Background information. The Inner West line currently runs from Victoria to Bassington, branching off the main suburban at Waverley and winding through inner suburbs such as Erlington, Stanley, and Cartford, running alongside a major freight corridor along much of its route. Its depots are Paterson Maintenance Centre and Waverley. The line runs through the airport line through Victoria and airport trains from Inner West services. Reasons for upgrade. This line sees little usage by the community due to several factors, these being, but not limited to, number 1, non-dynamic flow of the line in terms of its scenery en route, making the line very aesthetically unappealing. Number 2, the section from Erlington to Stanley is very old, remaining relatively untouched since version Alpha 0.14. Hence, the quality of the station models and scenery are very outdated for the standards of modern trainways. Number 3, poor terminus of the line. As Bassington was intended to be a temporary terminus until the line would be extended, it is a very awkward location for such a role, and the surrounding scenery does not reflect the general atmosphere of such a station, compared to terminus stations such as West Hills Airport or Hornsworth. Number 4, poor design of the line. As the line is situated between West Hills, and partially the South line, the scenery of the neighbouring lines are loaded in, resulting in a significant I'm sorry if I butcher this word, because I don't really know how to say that. Detriment, that's the word. Detriment to the performance of the user's device. Upgrade details. The alignment of the Inner West line will be heavily modified to run via the main suburban corridor with the South line, where it will diverge southwest at Alpha Junction to a new station called Winston Park, based on Wiley Park Station. The line then gradually climbs a hill where the existing Cartford station will be relocated to the summit of the hill where the line will run through, before gradually descending towards Camberwell station, which we have opted to leave unrelocated. This will mean the existing line from Camberwell to Stanley will be demolished, while the tracks and platform used by the Inner West lines will be left unused before the area is redeveloped at a future phase. This realignment aims to both add more traffic along the main suburban's local pair of tracks by complementing South Line services, add more diversity to the route surroundings, and make better use of newer infrastructure. Solid purple equals proposed alignment, transparent purple equals former alignment. In addition to upgrading the line by realigning the route, it will also see an extension from Bassington to a new station called Lake Hill, based on Liverpool Station, with an intermediate station called Cannington, based on Cabramatta. The new Lake Hill station is also where the South line from Findlay Field will converge to serve as its new terminus, while the Inner West line is planned to be extended further out to a proposed region called Ipswich Valley, running parallel to a goods line serving the industries in that region. This extension gives both lines a proper terminus that will make their routes more complete by designing the Lake Hill station to have the characteristics of an important station, featuring a more developed scenery with suburbs and industries, thereby addressing both game logic and user experience. While in real life the route from Sefton joins the main South Line at Cabramatta, we are opting to join them at our equivalent of Liverpool to position Lake Hill further inwards for the following reasons. Number 1. Making Cannington the junction station would have required positioning Lake Hill further out, sacrificing room for the Ipswich Valley. Number 2. Lake Hill is proposed to be a double junction with freight corridor branching west of Lake Hill heading south through a diesel-only route that links with a station called Glenferrie, based on Glenfield, for the West Hills line. Positioning the northern end of the route further west would create a very indirect route, even for freight trains. Process. The first phase is the construction of the new Winston Park station southwest of Alpha Junction. To provide the new alignment from Camberwell to Alpha Junction, it is then easy enough to modify the switches at Alpha Junction and Waverley to accommodate the inner west to use the route. This also requires the freight from corridor from Forestfield to Freeman to be modified, as the old alignment of the inner west line from Camberwell to Stanley is removed. This involves the construction of a new Y junction slightly north of Forestfield to head southeast, passing under the new inner west line's alignment in a cutting before joining up with the existing goods track at Stanley. The second phase involves the construction of Cannington and Lake Hill stations for the extension beyond Bassington and Finley Field on the Southern Line. Benefits. The realignment of the extension of the Inner West Line aims to add diversity, better aesthetics, logic, and immersion towards the end user. This upgrade is relatively feasible given it requires only 3 new stations, 2 of which are relatively small stations, running along a substantial amount of existing infrastructure, in addition to our expanded developer crew allowing various tasks to be assigned to several individuals. South Line background information. The South Line currently runs from Victoria to Findlay Field, running along the main suburban route through Alpha Junction, diverging from the Western Line at Arsenal before heading south through old suburbs at Marylebone, passing industrial parks and water reservoirs, and running into the rural urban fringe of Findlay Field. The South Line connects to the West Hills Line at Victoria, forming into a service on the other half of the route after passing through the city. Reasons for upgrade. Like the Inner West Line, the South Line is unpopular by the community, albeit for slightly different reasons. Number 1. Poor terminus of the line by terminating trains at Findlay Field. Like Bassington, Findlay Field was intended to be a temporary terminus until a later stage. Hence, the atmosphere of the station created by the scenery and location of the area does not give any indications of Findlay Field being in an important region. It is also criticized for being substantially less interesting than the West Hills Line, the southern half of the complete route. Number 3. Although Findlay Field received a major scenery and station renovation in version Beta 0.20, its reputation of being a poor line persists, as the area was extremely empty and incomplete prior to this update. Upgrade details. The line will be extended beyond Findlay Field to join up with the Inner West Line at Lake Hill, the destination of the South Line. Lake Hill Station will be situated in a more built-up suburb given the agricultural industry surrounding it, such as a sawmill and a abattoir. This would justify a larger size station to facilitate both South Line services terminating and Inner West Line running through the station. It will also have a separate platform for diesel services between Lake Hill and Glenferrie, and old goods siding converted to stabling siding. Process. The extension from Findlay Field should be done after the realignment of the Inner West Line is completed first, and the section of track from Lake Hill to Findlay Field should be constructed after the alignment from Lake Hill to Bassington is completed. Benefits. Extending the South Line from its penultimate station will complete the line at an objectively better terminus, while still maintaining the character of the route overall. This will also benefit the West Hills line by seeing more players from the improved South line to drive the full route. Sorry. This upgrade is also very achievable given it is a minor addition to the Inner West line's upgrades, requiring a simple double track line linking Lake Hill to Finley Field with rural scenery given the agricultural nature of the region. Conclusion. The upgrades proposed to both lines are brought about by their neglect and suboptimal design, decisions which resulted in poor reception from the community. These upgrades aim to rectify the sore points of both routes to both improve aesthetics, the ability of real-world logic to be applied in a virtual world, and user experience. These upgrades are very doable given the capabilities of our developer team. Given all the required tasks can be divided up to have the assets ready and implemented in the map, in addition to the scenery work required, which can also have its work divided up, improving productivity and efficiency.